Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for some fighting words. So in this video, I want to do a fight breakdown for Claressa Shields in her up-and-coming bout against Savannah Marshall. And without further ado, let's just jump on into this thing. So the one thing that I really am interested about in this fight is who's going to take center control? Who's going to be backing who up? Every fight that I see Claressa Shields in, I mean, she never loses a round. And she's way more aggressive than all the girls she fights. She never takes a back step. She's always controlling the center. She's always pressing forward, and she throws 100 billion punches. Then you have Savannah Marshall, who never backs up, always takes the center stage, center of the ring, backs everybody's up, backs every woman up, and basically big sisters them the entire night. So my biggest question of this fight, and I think this might be the defining factor of the fight, if not adjusted by the person who's going to back up, is who's going to take center control. I don't think neither one of them know how to back up fighting because they don't have to. They never do. I've seen Savannah Marshall do it a few times, but like I've never seen her consistently just back up in a round or anything like that. And she certainly didn't have the same firepower backing up as she did going forward. And the same thing for Claressa Shields. So this is going to be really interesting to see who's going to take a back step. Really quick, if you like what you're hearing, please like my videos. Please subscribe to this channel. Please tell your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, everybody. Whatever gym you go to and you fight at, let them know about fighting words. And let's jump back into this. So the second thing with Claressa Shields is in order for her to be successful in this fight against Savannah Marshall, she's definitely going to have to continue what she always does, and that's throw high volume punches. Punches and bunches, she's going to have to. She might even have to up her game in volume of punches against Savannah Marshall. I think it's just going to be a key thing for her because maybe she can just flood her with so many punches. Now, granted, Savannah Marshall is great at counterpunching, but she doesn't throw a lot back. She doesn't throw a lot back. She's really precise, and that's a lot of times when you have a precise, accurate puncher, they don't throw a whole lot because it's like, especially the heavy-handed ones like Savannah Marshall. Well, I know that I can hit the target, and I also know that I have a lot of impact when I hit the target. So I'm not going to waste too much energy throwing all these shots when I can, get one good clean shot in, which is a nice way of thinking. But you're going up against somebody who's definitely on your level and who's definitely skilled, and he's going to throw a lot of punches in the round, so you definitely need to up your take. One thing about Claressa Shields, because I just mentioned how, Savannah Marshall, she's a great counterpuncher, which is true. In her last bout, she actually knocked her opponent out from a counterpunch. They were punching at the same time, and she got the last laugh. Well, actually, she beat her to the punch, to be honest with you. So I think with this fight, yes, Claressa Shields has to up her punches. However, I don't think she should do what she typically does, is stand in front of her opponent. She can't afford to stand in front of Marshall. Marshall hits harder. It is what it is. And I think Savannah Marshall's a better counterpuncher as well. It is what it is. So I don't think she can afford to stand in front of her. But what Claressa Shields could do is break her rhythm. So it could be, bop, 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 and just constantly breaking up the rhythm. Because Claressa Shields does have a rhythm and a cadence to a lot of her combinations. And if you just watch any of her fights, she has a lot of cadence to it. So if somebody would push back, they could time her. They could time her. And I think Savannah Marshall, being that she is a great counterpuncher, she could time her just right. But if you break up the rhythm, then it's like, you're not really sure when to jump in. So that's another thing. I would say, see if you can break up that rhythm. Continue with the volume of punching, but break up the rhythm. Listen, do not stand and trade with Savannah Marshall. I understand you two have history. I understand, she beat you once. I understand you two be going, you go back and forth with each other. I understand all that. I understand if you dominate her, you are by far, in anyone's eyes, the GWOAT, which you are considered widely the GWOAT now. But still, do not stand in front of her. Savannah Marshall hits harder than Claressa Shields. Savannah Marshall is a better counterpuncher than Claressa Shields. Do not stand in front of her. And don't let this be an ego trip. Like, oh, I'm backing up, so I'm not winning this fight. Or, oh, I'm backing up, so maybe I'm not confident, or maybe I'm not looking that confident or looking that strong or dominant. You can still win a fight being smart and being defensive. Do not stand in front of Savannah Marshall. I cannot stress that enough. Do not stand in front of her. Claressa Shields has a thing about standing in front of her opponents. And when she's not punching an opponent, she has this thing where she'll like post up and just try different things. Don't do that. Move your legs. Move your legs. You can do that while you move your legs. That'll be the smartest thing for you. Let's see. Utilize the overhand. Why? Because Savannah Marshall, she gets into this thing, like once she gets her mojo going, she drops her lead arm. So it's no longer, she'll start off like this, but as she comes into her flow and her rhythm, her arm drops. Perfect opportunity. You're already going to be throwing a lot of punches. Mix those punches up well and slip those overhands in frequently. Frequently slip those in. Because no, Claressa Shields is not known to be a knockout artist or anything like that. But listen, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You got two fists and she's got two fists. Anything can happen. It's possible. You two girls are the same size, so it's possible. But that overhand right, it's there for you. Especially, I'll probably say in middle rounds, the late rounds. It's there for you. I would not try it in the opening rounds, but I'd say by round 4, 5, 6, you can definitely slip that in there. I'm not saying make it obvious, and I'm not saying just throw a ton of those back to back, but I'm saying slip it in there. Let's see. Step out after punching. Again, yes, I'm going to keep reiterating the same thing over and over again because I think it's important. Savannah Marshall is a great counterpuncher. Savannah Marshall is bigger than Claressa Shields, and Savannah Marshall hits harder than Claressa Shields. Step out after you counterpunch. Don't, not just counterpunch, punching in general. Step out. Again, Savannah Marshall likes to be the big sister and walk girls down. Don't stay there after your combination. Don't stay there after the sequence. Don't stay there after the shootout. Move. Step out to the side. Step out to the side, but do not stay there. Claressa Shields does that a lot, especially if she'll pull back or do something like that. You can't afford to do that either. Why? Because Savannah Marshall's taller than you and she has longer arms than you. And she does know how to fight tall when she wants to. So do not do that. Just step out. Step out to an angle. At that point, Marshall has to reposition herself. And then you can go on the attack again when she repositions. But don't stay there. You attack, you step out. You attack, you step out. This way or this way. Do not go back. Trust me, because now you're in a comfort zone. You don't want to go back. Don't try to go forward because I just don't think I don't necessarily, honestly, I haven't really seen Claressa Shields hit like with a solid crack. So I don't know what her jaw is like. I don't know what, I just see her dominate girls all the time. So I really can't say how well she takes a punch. I do know she spars with a lot of guys. I know she spars Shakur Stevenson. But I really don't know how well she takes a punch, to be honest with you. Take Savannah Marshall to the deep waters. Again, you punch more in a round. Take her to the deep waters. Take her far into the deep. Because Savannah Marshall has more knockouts, she hasn't been to those last rounds as many times as you have. You have more experience there than she has. Not to mention, you throw away more punches. Because you throw away more punches, the odds of you winning are higher the more rounds you have. You're just going to accumulate points. And I'm not necessarily saying this fight is going to be about points because I think this fight is personal enough to Claressa Shields to where she wants to knock Savannah Marshall out, which could be dangerous in itself, that you come in with some preconceived notion that I'm going to do this. If I don't do this, then I don't consider myself a winner. Knockouts come when they come. Very seldom does somebody go out there and be like, I'm going to knock him out with this punch and it's going to be in this round. don't do that. Don't set yourself up and put all that pressure on your shoulders. You need to come in loose. You need to come in fluid, because Savannah Marshall is the best that you've been in there with. You've been there with a lot of great girls, but this is the creme de la creme. Let's see what else. Also, body punching. Invest early and often. And listen, Marshall keeps her hands low towards the middle rounds anyway. Attack the body. But if you attack the body, her hands are going to probably stay low. Or you could fake her, into which case she's like, she doesn't exactly know where to put her hands because you put so much into the body punches. So that's another thing. I really think this fight's going to be about body punching. I think that's going to be a huge factor in this fight, body punching. I think there's going to be a lot of infighting, because they will fight for position. They will fight to be center. They will fight to walk the other one down. And I'm sorry, I just don't feel like Claressa Shields is going to have what it takes to walk, not necessarily have what it takes, but strong enough to walk Savannah Marshall down. So in all, as I come to a close, break your rhythm, because again, she's a great counterpuncher. You got to break up your rhythm. Do not stand still. Be first. You punch more anyway. And Claressa Shields might be faster than Savannah Marshall. So punch first, be first, and punch in bunches, but break up that rhythm. Also, don't fight for the center. I feel like there's a lot of things in this fight that you're gonna, it's gonna be a back and forth. Don't let the center stage be the back and forth. Don't let, oh, I'm walking her down or she's walking me down. That's gonna be the thing that's gonna, because I don't feel like that's gonna end well, and it's gonna look worse. I feel like to judges, if it does go to the judges' decisions, it's gonna look worse if the bigger person, Savannah Marshall, is gonna back Claressa Shields down. Shields might do more damage because she throws more punches, but if she's the one backing up, you know how judges are, and you know what they're gonna think. So don't do that. Do not fight for that position. I don't think it's worth it, and not in this fight. I don't think it's worth it. And again, take her to the deep water. And that's pretty much my fight breakdown for Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Drop your comments down below. What do you think about the fight breakdown? What do you think about this fight? Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it's going to end in a knockout? Let me know. Drop your comments down below. As always, again, please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel.